Think all cruise food is safe? Think again. These 15 buffet favorites might look tempting, but they're hiding risks that could ruin your stomach, your sleep, or your entire vacation. Number 15, communal condiment pumps. That little ketchup pump at the buffet, it might be the filthiest thing on your tray, and you probably didn't even think twice before using it. Here's the deal, hundreds, sometimes thousands of hands touch those communal condiment stations every single day, and not everyone's following the hand washing guidelines. Some folks come straight from the pool, gym, or a day out in port. They dive into the buffet without even a glance at the sanitizer station. Now add the sun. Outdoor condiment stations, like the ones near burger grills or poolside snack bars, leave sauces unrefrigerated for hours. Heat plus mayo or mustard? That's a bacterial playground. It doesn't stop there. Ever seen someone bang on a clogged pump? Some guests poke it with fingers or utensils. Others rest their burger bun against the nozzle. You might not witness it, but these things happen all the time. And those sauce trays underneath the pump? They collect more than drips. We're talking about dried ketchup crust, old crumbs, and the occasional fly. To stay safe, ask for individual condiment packets whenever possible, or eat at venues where staff handle and plate everything for you. You'll avoid the pump and the germs, because one squirt of shared sauce shouldn't cost you a whole cruise. And if this surprised you, wait until you hear what could be lurking in the water. 14. Tap water from ports or fountains. Staying hydrated on a cruise is essential, but that refill you grabbed on the way back from shore, it might do more harm than good. Many ports, especially in parts of the Caribbean or Central America, have outdated plumbing. That means harmful bacteria, parasites, or even heavy metals can seep into the water supply long before it reaches your bottle. Even on board, tap water from public fountains or unlabeled dispensers may taste strange or metallic. While most ships desalinate and purify their own water, storage tanks and filters aren't always flawless, especially on older vessels. The safest move? Stick to sealed bottled water, especially when leaving the ship. Some cruise lines include bottled water in their drink packages, or you can bring your own reusable bottle and fill it with filtered water from designated refill stations. Skip the ice cubes at shady bars near the port. They often come from the same risky tap. Next up, a breakfast staple that might look safe, but definitely isn't. Number 13, powdered scrambled eggs from buffet trays. You woke up, strolled into the buffet, and grabbed a big scoop of scrambled eggs. Seems harmless, right? Not exactly. Most cruise ships don't use freshly cracked eggs in the buffet. Instead, they rely on powdered or liquid egg mix. It's cheaper, faster, and easier to prepare in bulk, but it doesn't taste great. And more importantly, it often sits under heat lamps for hours. What you get is a rubbery, mushy pile of yellow that tastes vaguely like eggs but has the texture of wet sponge. There's also the risk of undercooking. Some trays are topped up instead of replaced, which means half-warm eggs mixed in with fresh ones. That's a health hazard, especially if the internal temperature isn't monitored consistently. But here's the good news. Nearly every cruise ship has a made-to-order egg station. You can walk right up and ask for an omelet, scrambled eggs, or sunny side up, cooked fresh while you wait. Once you taste the difference, you'll never touch that buffet pan again. And speaking of things touched too much, the next one is cooler than eggs, but way riskier. Number 12, self-serve soft serve ice cream. There's something magical about grabbing a soft serve cone after a long day on deck, but that treat might come with an invisible topping you didn't order. Thousands of fingers touch those soft serve machine levers every day, and unlike door handles, nobody's sanitizing them between uses. You've got sticky hands, kids who sneeze nearby, and guests who spill, smear, and leave a mess without thinking twice. And since the machines are usually self-serve, staff aren't always around to clean it up right away. Even worse, the lever itself is a contact point that almost no one thinks about. If someone sick uses it right before you, those germs are now on your hand, and possibly your cone. Instead of skipping ice cream altogether, go for a safer scoop. Some ships have staffed gelato stations or offer hard-scooped ice cream, served by crew. These options are not only cleaner, but they usually taste better too. Want dessert without the side of germs? Choose the kind you don't have to touch yourself. But the next food on this list, it doesn't need germs to ruin your day. It just fills you up before the real meal even starts. Number 11, bread basket rolls before the main course. They show up warm, fluffy, and practically begging to be eaten. But those bread rolls on your cruise dinner table, they might be your biggest mistake of the night. Here's why. Cruise dining is a marathon, not a sprint. The bread is just the opening act. What follows could be filet mignon, lobster tails, or even a perfect risotto, but you won't enjoy it if you're already full from bread. It's easy to forget. You've just sat down, you're hungry, and that soft buttery roll seems like a great idea. But 2 or 3 rolls later, you're bloated, heavy, and your appetite has packed its bags. Carbs hit fast. They fill your stomach, slow digestion, and leave you feeling sluggish. Not great when you're dressed up for formal night and hoping to enjoy a 4-course dinner. By the time the main dish arrives, you're either picking at it or regretting the bread basket entirely. And let's be honest, the bread on most cruises isn't even that memorable. It's there to keep you busy while the kitchen catches up. The smart move? Eat one, slowly, then push the basket away and focus on the real stars of the menu. Cruise meals are designed to be indulgent. Don't waste your appetite on filler. Now, if you think bread is a trap, wait until you eat the burger that's been basking under a heat lamp for hours. Number 10. Heat lamp burgers. It looks like a burger, it smells like a burger, but once you bite into it, the illusion breaks. The heat lamp burger is one of cruising's most disappointing foods. Cruise ships serve thousands of meals a day. To keep up, they pre-cook popular items like burgers and leave them under warming lamps. The result? A patty that's dry, rubbery, and sometimes greasy all at once. The bun? Usually soggy or stale. What started as a juicy beef sandwich has turned into something closer to a hockey puck wrapped in bread. These burgers often sit out for long stretches, and while food safety standards prevent outright spoilage, the texture and flavor definitely don't survive the wait. You end up eating something that tastes like it's been microwaved twice and forgotten once. The better choice? Find the poolside grill. Most cruise lines have at least one spot where burgers are made to order. Freshly cooked, properly seasoned, and built just the way you like it. You might wait a few minutes longer, but the result is night and day. Plus, you get to skip the disappointment and regret. Cruising is about treating yourself, so don't settle for fast food disguised as buffet fare. But if lukewarm burgers are risky, raw fish that's been sitting out, that's a whole new level. Number 9. Room temperature sushi. Sushi on a cruise sounds exciting. It feels upscale, exotic, maybe even a little adventurous. But here's where the adventure ends, when that sushi has been sitting out too long. Raw fish is one of the most temperature-sensitive foods you can eat, and cruise buffets, while impressive, aren't always designed to keep sushi at the cold, safe temperature it needs. Once sushi sits out for even 30 minutes without proper cooling, the risk of bacterial growth skyrockets. The texture changes too. What should be firm and fresh turns soft and slippery, and the flavor? Not something you want to gamble with. Many guests don't realize the danger until it's too late. Stomach cramps, nausea, and a rough night in your cabin are common symptoms, not exactly the highlight of your cruise. If you're craving sushi, time it right. Grab it as soon as the buffet opens, when turnover is high and items are fresh. Better yet, book a table at a specialty sushi restaurant on board. These spots usually serve made-to-order rolls with high-quality ingredients and proper handling. When it comes to raw fish, freshness isn't optional, it's critical. And just when you think you've dodged the sushi scare, here comes another sea favorite that could turn sour fast. Number 8. Buffet shellfish. Shrimp piled high, mussels glistening on a tray, a mountain of oysters on ice. It looks like a seafood lover's dream, until it isn't. Shellfish is tricky. It spoils fast, carries a higher risk of foodborne illness, and demands strict temperature control. Unfortunately, the cruise buffet doesn't always meet these standards. Even if the seafood is initially safe, long exposure to warm air, repeated handling, or cross-contamination can turn a harmless shrimp into a serious threat. Once bacteria sets in, the consequences can hit hard and fast. And here's the real kicker. You often won't taste the danger. Spoiled shellfish doesn't always smell or look different, especially when masked by sauces or seasonings. That's why smart cruisers skip the buffet seafood towers and head straight for the main dining room or specialty restaurants instead. There, food is made to order and handled with much tighter safety protocols. If you absolutely can't resist, make sure the seafood is chilled properly and hasn't been sitting out too long. But honestly, it's better not to risk it at all. You paid for a dream vacation, not a night hugging the bathroom floor. Still, the next dish might be even more mysterious, because half the time you don't even know what's in it. Number 7. Unlabeled or mystery casseroles. You see a bubbling tray with melted cheese and browned edges. Could be mac and cheese, could be tuna surprise. The only problem? There's no sign, and no one nearby seems to know what it actually is. Mystery casseroles are the Russian roulette of cruise buffets. In a rush to keep things moving, cruise kitchens often batch cook trays of mixed ingredients and send them out with minimal labeling. Sometimes they forget to label them at all. Other times, the label simply says something vague like chef's special or hot dish. The risk? Hidden allergens. A pasta bake might contain peanuts in a sauce. A potato dish could be packed with dairy, and if you're vegan, gluten sensitive, or just picky, you're out of luck. Even if allergies aren't a concern, there's the issue of taste and texture. These big batch dishes are often reheated, overcooked, or under-seasoned. That creamy looking topping could be gluey. That crispy edge might just be burnt. Plus, since the contents are usually mixed together, it's hard to tell how long any part of it has been sitting out. One bite could expose you to undercooked meat, spoiled vegetables, or an off flavor you can't shake. Instead, look for clear single-item foods. grilled chicken, steamed vegetables, roasted potatoes. When you know what you're eating, you control the risk. Cruise buffets are meant to offer variety, not confusion, so if you can't identify it, don't eat it. And while mystery meals are bad, the next group of foods faces a much bigger problem. They're out there battling the elements. Number 6. Open air buffet items on deck. Dining with an ocean breeze feels amazing, until you realize the salad you're eating has been sitting in that same breeze for the past 3 hours. Many cruises offer open air buffet stations near pools or sun decks. It sounds like a great idea. Grab a plate of snacks without leaving your lounger. But what most passengers don't think about is how exposed these food stations really are. Direct sunlight raises food temperatures quickly. That potato salad, it's now a warm, creamy bacteria haven. Fruit platters attract flies. Deviled eggs sit in the heat, slowly becoming a health risk. And then there's the wildlife. Yeah, birds. Seagulls are clever, and in some ships, they've been known to swoop down and peck at uncovered food. You'd never know unless you saw it happen, and many guests don't. The real danger isn't what you see, it's what you can't. Open air food is vulnerable to airborne particles, curious fingers, and inconsistent monitoring. Even when the staff rotates dishes, there's no telling how long each tray was exposed before being replaced. If you want to enjoy outdoor dining, stick to wrapped items or food served fresh by a crew member. And if something looks like it's been sweating under the sun, leave it be. Remember, ocean air is great for your soul, not your salad. But speaking of sauces gone wrong, our next food might look harmless until you realize what's actually hiding in that creamy pasta bowl. Number 5. Buffet pasta with unknown sauces. Creamy, saucy, and covered in cheese. What could go wrong? Actually, a lot. Buffet pasta seems like a safe bet. It's filling, familiar, and always available, but on cruise ships it often hides a host of issues, especially when the sauce isn't clearly labeled. Some sauces are heavy on cream, butter, or cheese. Others use shelf-stable bases that contain preservatives, sodium, or hidden allergens like nuts or shellfish extracts. You wouldn't know unless you asked, and most people don't. There's also the temperature problem. Pasta dishes are typically held in large warmers to stay hot throughout service, but over time, the noodles get mushy, the sauce separates, and the dish starts to taste stale. If the staff mixes new pasta into the same tray, there's no way to know what's fresh and what's been there for hours. Not to mention, buffet pasta is rarely monitored as closely as high-risk foods like meat or seafood, so it doesn't always get replaced as frequently, even when it should. If you love pasta, wait for a spot that makes it to order. Many cruise ships now offer pasta bars where you choose your noodles, sauce, and toppings, and a chef whips it up in front of you. It takes longer, but the payoff is worth it. Otherwise, skip the mystery Alfredo and save your appetite, because next up, it's a beloved breakfast item that's often more disappointing than delicious. Number 4. Cruise ship coffee from buffet dispensers. You stumble into the buffet, half awake, craving one thing: coffee. You grab a cup, hit the dispenser, take a sip, and suddenly regret it. Cruise buffet coffee has a reputation, not a good one. Most ships brew their buffet coffee in massive industrial urns using low-grade beans or liquid concentrate. It's designed for volume, not flavor. The result is often watery, bitter, or just plain stale. If you're a casual coffee drinker, you might tolerate it, but if you actually enjoy coffee, it'll taste like disappointment in a paper cup. And here's the kicker: once brewed, the coffee often sits for hours in self-service machines that aren't always kept clean. The spouts build up residue, and the interior containers rarely get the deep scrubbing they need. That sour aftertaste? It's not the roast, it's the machine. For a better caffeine experience, skip the buffet. Most ships have a specialty coffee bar or cafe. The drinks cost extra, but the beans are higher quality, and they're brewed fresh, one cup at a time. You can get lattes, cappuccinos, even cold brew, and yes, they're worth it. Some cruise lines even include premium coffee in their beverage packages, so check before you sail, because life is too short for bad coffee. And speaking of things reheated and regrettable, our next item might be protein, but it rarely delivers anything more than dry disappointment. Number 3. Under-seasoned or reheated chicken. You're looking for something safe, something familiar. You spot the chicken tray. Problem solved. Not quite. Buffet chicken is one of the most hit-or-miss options on any cruise. It might be grilled, baked, or roasted, but chances are it was cooked hours ago and is now being kept warm under a heat lamp. The problem? Reheated chicken dries out fast. It loses its moisture, becomes stringy, and takes on that unmistakable leftovers flavor. What should be tender turns rubbery, and even the seasoning fades the longer it sits. Some cruise kitchens reserve unclaimed chicken from earlier meals, chopping it up for casseroles or stir-fries. It might not be unsafe, but the taste and texture take a serious hit. Worse, uneven heating means the chicken might not reach or maintain the right internal temperature, which opens the door to bacteria if things slip through the cracks. If you're determined to have chicken, look for signs it was freshly prepared. Carving stations often serve hot, juicy portions straight off the bone. Some specialty restaurants also do excellent grilled or rotisserie chicken that tastes like real food, not leftovers. Whatever you do, avoid anything that looks pale, dry, or like it's been chopped and rechopped. Cruise dining should feel indulgent, not like eating reheated takeout in a cafeteria. But if chicken disappoints, the next food might actually make you sick, especially when melted cheese meets questionable hygiene. Number 2. Poolside nacho cheese dispensers. Golden, gooey, glorious. Nacho cheese might look like liquid gold, but under that glossy surface could be a puddle of problems. Poolside nacho stations are popular. They're quick, convenient, and smell amazing when you're in the mood for a salty snack. But the cheese dispensers themselves? Not exactly trustworthy. These machines run for hours in the heat, and if the internal temperature dips below safe levels, bacteria can grow fast. That's especially true when the machine hasn't been cleaned properly, and let's face it, cleaning warm cheese residue out of a metal dispenser isn't anyone's dream job. Then there's the human factor. Guests use the same ladles, touch the same trays, and sometimes spill cheese on shared surfaces. Cross-contamination is real. One dirty hand or sneezed-on handle can spread germs to dozens of snackers in just a few minutes. And while you're distracted by the pool, the music, or the sun, you're probably not paying attention to how long that cheese has been sitting there. If you're craving nachos, look for a staffed snack bar where crew members serve each portion. That way you get the flavor without the risk, because a cruise should come with sunsets, not stomach cramps. Still, there's one more thing that could quietly sabotage your health on board, and it might be floating in your drink right now. Number 1. Ice from under-sanitized machines. It's the last thing you think about when grabbing a drink, but that clinking ice in your cup, it could be the biggest hidden hazard on the ship. Here's the cold truth. Ice machines on cruise ships don't often get the same cleaning attention as kitchens or serving stations. Many of them operate behind the scenes, out of sight, out of mind, and that can lead to buildup of mold, bacteria, or mineral deposits inside the machine. If those machines aren't regularly sanitized and filtered, the ice they produce can carry more than just chill. It can introduce harmful microbes into your drink, especially if the ice bin is opened and closed by multiple crew or guests. And let's not forget cross-contamination. The same scoop used for one person might touch cups, hands, or countertops and go right back in. The worst part? Ice doesn't smell or taste different when it's contaminated. You won't know until your stomach tells you hours later. Older ships are especially vulnerable. Their systems may not have been upgraded, and some still rely on outdated plumbing or less effective water filters. It's not about paranoia, it's about protecting your health. So what should you do? Stick with sealed bottled drinks when you can. Or get your beverages from staffed bars where ice comes from supervised machines and fresh scoops. If you see an open ice bin near the buffet, skip it. It's not worth the risk, because sometimes the cleanest looking cube is the sneakiest source of sickness. Cruise food should be part of the fun, not the reason you're stuck in your cabin missing all the good stuff. Now you know which 15 foods are more risk than reward, so you can eat smarter and enjoy every meal without regret. Stick to what's fresh, made to order, or served by staff, and skip the stuff that's been sitting, sweating, or touched by too many hands. Got a cruise food horror story or a hidden gem you always go for? Drop it in the comments, we'd love to hear it. And if this helped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more cruise tips, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a video. Until next time, happy cruising and safe snacking.